everyone. Welcome to another podcast.
You gonna introduce yourself?
No need. If they're clicking on it, they already know that
What if this is the first time they're watching? And I'm Flex. There we go.
Okay, this is our weekly podcast where we talk about games, movies, and just general stuff.
Everything.
What's
on the list?
So we saw Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning a couple days ago.
Yes.
And yesterday, I wanted to do this podcast, I want to do it every week, but I was like, oh, which day will be really good? Let's do Sunday, because Sunday was the first time we did it. But then we went to go see Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Saturday. Final Reckoning. We didn't get back until
1 a.m.
Like 1 a.m.
Yeah. And we're old, so that's late for us.
That's really late. And we've never seen a movie that late before, ever. And so we got back, and then the next day, I feel like when you stay up so late, your whole entire next day is blah. It's a waste.
I think we slept till like 9 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. I've not slept until 9 since I was
a waste.
In college.
But the movie was really good.
It was.
So it was the last Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, supposedly, right?
I mean,
as he said, this is going to be this is like the last one.
Yeah.
The way that they set it up in the film.
It
and then
feels like a wrap-up.
Yes.
Of Mission Impossible.
It is, yeah.
Like, they'll have to reboot it if they want to do more.
Right. And
which
no
they
spoilers,
will. I'm sure they will.
But it was really, really good.
It was really good.
I love Mission Impossible. It's just such a good series. I feel like you know what you're going to get with it. It's an all-action, American film. I feel like.
I don't know how many there are. There's like 10 or about 10 movies now. Only one is bad.
And which one was
the second one?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty fantastic that a series can do.
That every single one. Yeah.
I mean, you think about like Fast and the Furious, you think about Star Wars, like how many bad entries are there in those where Mission Impossible is like, it's great to good for the most part.
And you know why is because Tom Cruise is a producer. He's such an active part.
Yes.
So Ethan Hunt is Tom Cruise's character, and he reprises every single role. But for him to be, when was the first one came out?
A long time ago. Over 20 years ago.
So for him to
Probably 30, almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, that involved with the film from its conception up until now.
Yeah.
I got emotional. Were you crying? I cried at the end of it. There was a part where I would cry. And I was like, I don't know if I'm crying because it's 1 a.m. or if this is real. I was like wiping my face in the theater.
Well, it was kind of like Deadpool Wolverine. The final scene of that movie made me tear up. Yeah. Just because it's like, that was my childhood, and very similar thing for Mission Impossible. I don't think I teared up at the end. I actually was more just like mind blown. In the beginning does a really nice recap of all the Mission Impossibles. And that was more emotional than anything. It's just like, dang, these movies have been in my life for a long time.
Yep.
And it's just impressive they maintain the quality they do.
I feel like we're getting a lot of that because we're in our 30s.
Yes.
And we get a lot of those recap oh, okay. They show you how far something has come across. And I don't remember in media, the movies that, I watched growing up and stuff like that. Like, I don't remember seeing the sort of montages and stuff. I think millennials are part of that
We're an easy mark.
Reminiscent generation because... And I know every generation says this, but seriously, like growing up in the 90s and remembering our childhood and then seeing how things are now, it makes me very despondent.
Well, there's actually some math to this because we're the children of baby boomers. So there's more of us than there are of other generations. So you have to think that media that was created for millennials has a lot bigger audience than media that was created for the generation after. True. That's why, like, when you look at things like Avatar or, like Legend of Korra, I'm blanking on, like, the Zoomers after us. The Zoomer-oriented children's shows. They don't have the same level of nostalgia and, like, big budget franchise money wrapped up in it because it's just a smaller generation. Yeah. So there's, like, actual budgetary reasons why millennial franchises get so much attention. Yeah. But, Mission Impossible, like, even though Star Wars started in the 78, 79.
I think it's 79, yeah.
But, like, you think about how that was very pivotal in millennial youth. You had the prequels, you had Clone Wars, like, it was very present, and it continues to be so. So, like, there's monetary reasons, but I think also just, that's where all, like, the really big franchises came from, right?
Right. Even though Tom Cruise is not like a millennial by any means, he's still like,
he's a millennial icon.
Him.
Yes.
And so it was a really, really emotional film in that aspect too, like you said, you know, the recap and everything. But I really just loved the message of it. And I thought it was such a poignant message that was really relevant for today.
Yes.
And the problems that we're facing.
But it wasn't ham-fisted.
No, it wasn't. And so just really, really good movie. If you like action movies, I mean, if you like Mission Impossible, just, you know, go see it.
I will say I liked the previous two more. I just thought from like a enjoyment aspect, I think the previous two really nailed the Mission Impossible formula. This one, like, it's not even a critique as so much as it is an observation, felt more like an Indiana Jones movie. Like,
he was even dressed like Indiana Jones in a majority of the film too. We're like,
it's strange. Like, it doesn't feel like a Mission Impossible movie so much as it feels like what if Indiana Jones was alive today? Like, I don't know why, but the notes hit that way.
Yeah.
And I think if you go in with that mentality, you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's fun.
Yeah. It's good. Some good scenes and, you know, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, boy.
All right. We also saw Bring Her Back, which is a horror movie from the same creators that did
Talk to
Me. And see, if we want to have a media podcast, we need to, like,
well, I've only seen one of their movies, so I haven't committed the brothers' names to memory.
And they're from New Zealand. So
I mean, that's more than you get on a lot of podcasts today. So at least we have some facts.
We're at least fact checking a little bit.
We know origin. We know, relationship status for the creators. But we know their previous. I mean, Talk to Me was great, right? Talk to Me was a very cool movie.
It was a good horror movie. This one was actually, this one hasn't came out yet. AMC does this thing called Screen Unseen, and this time it was Scream Unseen, so we knew it was going to be a horror movie, but it comes out...
We didn't know what it was.
May 31st, so it is a horror movie. There is some possession elements. Sally Hawkins is in it. Sally Hawkins, you might know her from, The Shape of Water.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you remember?
I'd rather not, but thank you.
Yeah, that's Sally Hawkins, Shape of Water.
She was great.
You didn't remember her because she didn't talk in Shape of Water. Yeah, she was really good in this movie.
That movie is intense.
Yeah. Going to sneeze.
Well, get it out.
I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, the movie was intense.
Like a sneeze, that movie was intense. Bring Her Back, honestly, might be one of the meanest movies I've seen since Hereditary.
Yes.
Like, it really, really just doesn't hold back in any way.
It has lots of body...
stuff.
Body stuff.
In a good way, though.
But not the same body stuff as...
Like the substance.
The substance. Not like the substance, which is the fly for women.
Substance is the fly for women. I would say Bring Her Back is Hereditary for New Zealand.
Yeah.
Which,
It was a fun movie.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. But after we watched it, I was like, I think I like movies with haunting and ghosts more because Bring Her Back had ghosts in it. And I realized what I really like about horror movies is I really like to see the ghosts and not in a way where they have like this, constant presence on screen. I'm talking about like I get to see a glimpse of their life and then I get to come up with a backstory about who this ghost was. And so Bring Her Back was a ghost movie and Talk to Me was a ghost movie and Bring Her Back was more of a supernatural elements to it.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a demonic movie.
Right, but we can totally see them being in the same universe. So if you like horror movies, once this one comes out, like, go watch. It's very creepy, very
If you are
unsettling.
squeamish, though, like...
Yeah, if you are squeamish.
Content warning. There are some hard scenes to watch in that movie.
I couldn't watch some stuff. I was like closing my eyes. I'm not watching this because...
Even the sound was like, gosh, no.
It was that squeamish sound, but
yes.
yeah. So that was another really good movie that we saw, Bring Her Back. And now the Elden Ring movie announcement by Alex Garland, who is the director.
Elden who?
Elden who?
What's an Elden?
Elden Ring has been confirmed by A24. And it's so funny because like 2 weeks ago, there was this small, independent, online blog that was like, I have an exclusive announcement that Alex Garland, and A24 are doing Elden Ring. And everyone was like, oh, that rag, that dirty piece of crap, you can't trust that blog. That blog is, that blog is hacked. So everyone starts ripping into this blog. And then it soon falls, it was a scam, right? Everyone's like, that was a scam.
It's just a giant scam.
And so that tiny little blog had all its credibility just like shot. No one's like, who are you? Why would you have exclusive coverage? And then it turns out it was real. So everyone owes a guy an apology.
Everyone.
That's really sad.
We don't even know his name, nor do we know his blog. What a great media podcast we are.
How sad is that? He tried to tell us. He was like Chicken Little Hen.
He's Chicken Little Hen. He bakes the bread and he warns you about the sky falling.
Isn't that sad, though? Because we could have been excited about this had we believed him.
But now we can't be excited.
We can't.
We just can't.
Alex Garland
is my favorite director-writer of the 2020s.
Director of Annihilation, director of Warfare, director of Mox Machina.
Excuse me? Writer of Dread. Also the writer of the upcoming 28 years later, Civil War.
So he's had a lot of stuff. I didn't know this, but apparently he's on New Game Plus 6, which is crazy.
I believe it, though.
I don't like New Game Plus 6. That's wild.
That guy has a vibe about him. I love him.
Yeah, I love him. He's
Warfare, great. We were talking about this earlier. Warfare is probably my favorite movie that has come out in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It is so impressive.
Warfare is a slice of the time in the Iraq War. It's just like
2006, I think.
A segment.
Yeah. It's just it's a 24-hour view.
It's kind of like a slice of life film, but from the war.
And it is just so immaculately made and intense and upsetting. And just like the acting.
We were just talking about
it. Gives me chills. It gives me chills to think about.
Yeah, one of the most impressive movies we've seen this year.
Yeah. And seeing it in Dolby.
Yeah.
Where I never jump in movies. And that movie had sounds that made me jump out of my chair.
Yeah.
Just like absolutely butt leaves the seat.
Yep.
So I think Alex Garland has a skill when it comes to capturing war. Because we saw it with Warfare, we saw it with Civil War.
No,
he's very good at that.
Right.
He's also got a nice weirdness when it comes to subtlety. Think about Ex Machina, you think about Annihilation.
I loved Ex Machina.
He's got an eye for weird.
Yeah.
And I feel like weird and war describes Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm curious.
I'm curious, too. I don't think he's going to do a bad job.
No.
I'm like, a live-action adaptation of a fantasy that's so fantastic, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. But I'm most excited because I want to see him make... George R. R. Martin is also a producer, so I want to see him make some affirmative... Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. We were just talking about George R. R. Martin like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That the reason he didn't do his book... And this is just stuff I've read. But people are like... Because he tested out what happens in the book with the season,
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
And everyone hated it, and so that's why the book's not coming out, is because he's got to rewrite it or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm more excited that he's going to be inefficient on the lore in this game, because like myself, I did a ton of lore videos, but a lot of people think they know everything about the lore in this game to the point where they were like, hey, you don't know anything. And so I'm really excited for Alex Garland to shut all of that up.
So is Miyazaki involved? Do we know?
I did not read his name as being involved.
Do you remember if he was involved with the Armored Core episode of Death, Love, and Robots?
No.
I don't either.
I don't remember. If
I think that's the first time FromSoft has ever done anything movie video related at all.
And that episode was great.
It was great. It had Keanu Reeves in it. It perfectly represented Armored Core and the whole like...
I mean, we should just get an Armored Core movie.
Oh, my
that
gosh.
was really, really well done.
That's the movie I want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if Amazon wants to do that, because they already have like all the assets for that one clip they did.
The Unreal Tournament one was the best.
Yeah.
But Armored Core was a close second.
But if they want to test out some of the video game movies, like with the reception of those shorts, they were really good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think with Elden Ring, like Armored Core makes sense, right? There's a lot of lore in Armored Core, but also it's pilots and robots shooting each other.
Yeah.
Like you see how that translates to the screen. The problem with fantasy, and I think about like Game of Thrones, I think about Lord of the Rings, there's a lot of talking. But FromSoft games are not known for a lot of talking.
Right.
They're known for punishing boss fights.
Yeah.
So like Alex Garland is capable of doing like long shots, low dialogue, telling a story through visuals as opposed to dialogue.
Yeah.
So I think he is perfect for this. I can't see it.
No.
So I'm very, very curious how they're going to pull this off.
I can't see it either.
Yeah.
But my Mesmer value statue will go up in price.
Yeah. Well, taking offers. Low 100,000s for those interested.
Yeah, literally everyone all the offers I've gotten for that statue have been so
lowball.
Horrifically, like someone was like, "I'll give you $900." Like, wow, really? Okay.
Like you're not even.
I don't think you guys know
in spitting distance.
Nope.
No.
So let's move on to video games. You just beat Clair Obscur.
I did.
We're not going to talk about it too much because we're literally going to film a video right after this one talking about Clair Obscur, but you did beat it.
I did beat it.
And one thing that I wanted to do, so I've already filmed my review for Clair Obscur, and originally I wanted you to play it so we could do a co-review, but I think the idea that we're going to do is better, where we're going to discuss the game, like the story of it, and do spoilery stuff. Because a lot of people, when they do reviews, it's like, no spoilers. And I understand that. People want to listen.
Spoiler video.
Like, when we do these podcasts, we're not going to spoil things.
Yeah.
If we want to talk about spoilers, we'll, make a distinction. But yeah, so we're going to try and do more gaming discussion stuff. You're going to do some shorts you were already talking about. Like,
I was working on a script earlier.
YouTube shorts.
Y'all are going to hate it.
They used to be 60-second long. 60 seconds max, but now they're 3 minutes max.
Which is perfect for what I'm going to do.
Yeah, there's stuff that I could do. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll just get to start revisiting stuff on my list of things I've wanted to talk about. Because 3 minutes is sufficient, Okay, so I went to the Lies of P demo last week, and I finally uploaded my footage where I got to talk about that they were adding difficulty settings in the game. Now they have 2 new difficulty settings in Lies of P. The standard is the one we've already been playing. And then they're going to have an easier difficulty and a harder difficulty.
Didn't I say there was going to be 5 difficulties? Or was that...
No, that's only for the boss rush mode.
Oh,
yeah, so boss rush,
I watched your video.
Up to 5. You got it?
I paid attention.
Boss rush goes up to 5, but normal game has 2. And so I was really excited. In fact, I was so happy when they made that announcement when we were at the demo and they were answering some questions. Like, oh my God, thank you. Is that thing still recording? Probably if it just went to sleep. Okay, just making sure.
We got it.
So I was so excited to hear this. Now, some of course, and this always happens when you talk about game difficulties, some people will be like, oh, that's it, I'm done. I'm bored. Someone was like, I would have bought this game, but I'm not anymore because I'm really disappointed they did this. Cowards. And so this is a trend that you see, though, in gaming discussion when difficulty is brought up. People will get very upset, and the arguments that I always hear are, you're cheating yourself out of the accomplishment. You can't be proud of yourself. If you can't play the game the way it was intended, don't play the game at all. This is just money. They're just doing it because they want to sell more. It's all very negative and very cynical and extremely, extremem pessimistic and just angry. And so I started thinking, like, for me, I'm never going to be good at combat games, right? And I'm not talking about, like, Super Smash Brothers, because I was pretty good at Super Smash Brothers.
Right.
I'm talking about that kind of Souls-based combat, right?
You don't want to be good at them.
I don't want to be good at them.
Like, it's I've always wanted to be good at fighting games.
Yeah.
So I picked up Street Fighter 6 when that came out, and I actually played it for like 100 hours, and I got to gold rank, and I was like, you know what? That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I understand the concepts. I know more than I knew going in. Mm-hmm. I'm not a pro by any means, but I understand the game enough to walk away, and that was good enough for me.
And that's all. And you can feel your own accomplishment.
Right, and now I can watch it and understand it, and I like it. But
see, I don't care about being good at combat. Like, if I was like a master at Lies of P, chung, 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 beating a boss.
Right.
I don't care. That's not something that I feel accomplishment over. I feel accomplished over remodeling our bathroom by myself.
Yeah, I mean, which is impressive.
By myself.
Not many people can do that.
Okay?
I think more people can play Lies of P than can remodel a bathroom.
But those are the sort of things I feel accomplishment over. Oh, I did all of our landscaping across the yard and blah, 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 blah. These are the things that I feel accomplishment over. Now, if someone were to say, well, I don't have that ability to remodel a bathroom myself. We're like, well, if you can't do that, then, then you're a bad homeowner or whatever. Like, if I were to use that same argument on something, that'd be so pathetic.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Oh, you can't remodel your bathroom. You can't put a toilet. No, some people have back problems. Some people can't lift heavy things. Some people can't. And so I would never have that same sort of expectation. So I started to wonder, like, why do they care so much about what game difficulty I play the game on? Why is this such a point of criticism? And then I realized, I'm like, because that is most likely one of the only things they have to be proud of, right? Because I feel like people like you and me, the normal everyday people, like 99% of the population, we're proud of our spouse, we're proud of our kids, we're proud of our house, we're proud of our job, we're proud of our
musical ability
hobbies,
or whatever, your talents. Right.
Things that we create, things that we produce, our writing. But then when you have someone that is only talented playing video games.
Me.
Where you're like, okay, the only good thing I have in life is being really good at Souls combat. And I excel at it, right? And that's me. And then you see other people, normal person, coming into your game, playing it, beating the boss because I played on easy difficulty. You would feel like that was unfair. You'd feel like, well, that's not fair. I beat that boss and she beat it too. And she played on easy difficulty. And then you look at my life and you're like, she's already playing life on easy difficulty. I am playing life on easy difficulty mode. Okay? I just am. I'm not going to say that I'm not.
What difficulty am I playing on?
Just probably normal. You're playing on standard difficulty.
I really am. That's how I play everything. I play every game at standard difficulty.
And your life is standard difficulty.
Yes,
I will say I
agree.
I am playing life on easy difficulty for multiple reasons.
None of which will be labeled or named here.
I just am, right?
Yeah.
And so for, Dark Souls Combat Master 15,000, for him...
Is that a person in the comments?
Many.
Oh, man.
But for them to, I'm like, okay, I understand why they get upset, because then they see someone like me encroaching on what they've mastered, and if that's the only thing
But you're not claiming to be a master.
I'm not.
That's the difference.
But I'm trying to understand their mindset, right? I would be upset too, I guess. Maybe.
I mean, do you think like Yo-Yo Ma gets upset when he opens up TikTok and sees other people who are great at the cello?
Well, if they had some sort of thing that was helping them be great, like a robotic cello arm, I'd be like, well, that's not fair.
Or do you think he'd be like, wow, this is amazing. I'm glad that people who don't have, full use of their arms can use a robotic cello arm.
I mean, yeah, I would assume that's how. And that's
I
how
would assume
I
so
think
too. Right.
But I'm just trying to understand why they're so upset. I don't
Someone in the
agree
comments could be like, Yo-Yo Ma's an absolute Chad. You couldn't have picked a worse example.
No, and if you're someone, if you're someone that gets really upset to hear when people play on difficulty mode, or when to hear a game has difficulty mode, if you want to explain yourself, you can. I'm just trying to understand, like, when I saw comments, like, my whole entire year is ruined. I was banking on this game not having, like, I'm just trying to understand, make sense of it.
So I play life on standard difficulty.
Yeah.
I play games on standard difficulty. I've always thought you play on the difficulty the game was designed for, because that's what the developer's intent was. And I want to meet things at the intent of the developer. Now, I am an able-bodied human. Mm-hmm. I have pretty good reaction time in general. But there's one thing I hate, which is when things disrespect my time. Yeah. It's precious. I only have so much of it. So in Clair Obscur, I played the entire game on Expeditioner difficulty, which is the recommended difficulty. Yeah. And there was a boss that I went to a little early, and it was a 3-character boss fight. One character puts Enrage on everybody, so everyone attacks twice. Another character puts Shield on everybody, which means that your attacks can't do anything until you get rid of the shields. Yeah. I fought this boss for 20 minutes, getting its health down, and then I missed a parry. And it was enough to wipe my party. I didn't have enough ability on my secondary characters to get through this. And I was like, you know what? I could come back here later and one-shot this with the build I ended up creating, or I could lower the difficulty right now and I could take care of this problem.
Right.
So I did. Because it was a matter of like, I'm going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
One way or another.
You don't want to have to come back.
But I don't want to waste my time. So I just lowered the difficulty. I got through it and I cranked the difficulty right back up. Right. I love that ability.
Yeah.
Because I know I can do it.
You also,
I don't want to.
Final Fantasy VII, once you got towards the end, you cranked down the.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I was 80 hours into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I was just like, I gotta see the end of this. I know I can do it, but I'm tired of doing it.
Yeah,
just get me to the end. Like, I love when games let you change the difficulty,
right? Because
sometimes they're too long, or they're too padded, or it's not well designed, and it is appropriate to make the change. So. I say that as someone who likes playing on normal. Give me the easy for when I need it.
Yeah. And I mean, some people, like you said, the time constraint thing, I don't really have.
Right.
And then you add this extra layer on top of it, which is, okay, if I want to be more regular with making YouTube videos, if I want to have some sort of normalcy in my schedule and playing through more games, I need to be able to get through them quicker because Clair Obscur took me 43 hours. And, you know, if I'm going to plan out some content on that game, then I can't spend, you know, double that amount of time. Like, this is what happened when I played Black Myth Wukong. I had written down notes and stuff to do lore videos, and now looking back, nothing was stopping me from necessarily from doing that. But I ended up playing that game. It was like over 80 hours because it was so difficult for me. I did it, and people were like, "Don't you feel proud, Cut?" No! I felt like I could have done this.
You wasted your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I do it? Yes. Did I feel accomplished? No. Because like I said, I remodeled my bathroom. That's the sort of thing I have accomplishments over. I don't care
You're there for the story.
Yes, I'm there for the story. And that is a totally valid reason to play a video game. And so I was just trying to figure out, though, like, why would someone get so upset about the way that I play a game if I don't care about the way you make your bed, you know?
Well, I think it's really funny, too, because if you think about the olden days, 90s, even 80s.
Yeah.
You used to go to the supermarket and buy a video game magazine, and like the last third of that magazine was cheat codes and passwords.
Yeah.
Right?
Because people forget about the cheat codes and passwords.
People forget about cheat codes and passwords, but like that's the only way I ever beat Crash Bandicoot 1 as a kid. Like I didn't have the skill to beat that game, so I had to do level skips. I had to give myself extra lives.
You remember the money cheat code in Sims?
Yes.
Rosebud?
I played The Sims recently, the first one, when they re-released it, because I love the music in that game. I love the art of that game. I forgot how brutally difficult that game is. It is. They are not kind. Like, that is not a well-designed difficulty.
They want you to struggle. They want you to feel. There's a really good video on YouTube about the Sims soundtrack. Like, why the Sims soundtrack is so iconic.
I feel like it's easier to make money in real life than it is to make money. Like, you literally, oh yeah, I'm the president of the world. I get $1,000 a day, which is not enough to buy a fridge.
Well, it's so funny because like all of the items you get, they're all like cheap, right?
Yes.
And they don't bring any happiness.
No.
And so you have to live in this really small, miserable, you know, unfurnished house that has like negative happiness.
You know what the secret. So I looked it up because I was baffled. I'm like, how did I play this as a kid without cheats? Because I remember playing as a kid without cheats. And the secret to The Sims 1 and success is the hot tub.
Yeah.
You have to buy the hot tub. It's 3,000 simoleons, but it's the only object in the game that gives you fun, comfort, and social. So if you have someone at your house or you have someone else over, you put them in the hot tub together, and that's the only. Oh, it also gives you hygiene. It's the only item that gives you like four things.
The hot tub is great. See, hot tubs in real life they can be really disgusting.
I will not go in a hot tub IRL. You can get
staph infection.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Because stuff will go into your pores and stuff.
I remember someone told me once, like, oh yeah, never go in the hot tub because old people go in there for their hemorrhoids. And I'm like, oh.
Horrible.
No.
And then you get all that stuff in your skin. Oh.
But in The Sims, it gives you hygiene. So,
which is hilarious.
Not real life. That's your Sims pro tip.
But that was games difficulty. I wanted to talk about that because I saw so many comments. It's like heartbroken. Like,
unbelievable.
Why would they do this to me? I'm like, my God, let me try and understand. Because, listen, I will try and understand so that we can fix it, right? I want to understand why you're so upset so that we can maybe go to the root of what's causing that. Again, the anger iceberg. Like, which emotion in the meat of the iceberg are you? Okay, so we're moving on.
Just throwing out a concept like that.
Yeah. Speaking of old people.
Oh, okay.
Because I put this on the list. Tomorrow, you're getting a procedure on your toes.
Yes, for ingrown toenails.
And so we'll follow
FYI.
up the podcast next week to,
see how I'm doing.
See how you're doing. But when we went the first time, we went to the wrong office location. They didn't do the procedure at this office.
They do, but they didn't recommend doing it there, which is always something you want to hear a doctor say.
If they say don't do it here, you're like, oh.
Okay.
So then we went to another office location.
And then that day, apparently the nurse, I don't know if the nurse who was no longer with the company threw away the implements they needed to perform the procedure, which I'm just like, okay. Just to be clear, I really like this doctor. I really like all the nurses. They seem like great people.
Right.
But it is weird to have 2 times now getting ready to have this procedure done and be like, come back.
Yeah, like I told him if it happens again tomorrow, if we go in,
it's a sign.
It's a sign.
I'm
just going to let my brother do it. My brother's a podiatrist. We'll fly up.
We'll just fly to Philly and have him do it.
But when I was in the waiting room, in the lobby, waiting for him, this old woman in a wheelchair, she's pushed in by her husband, and they're sitting in the lobby. And, there's like elevator music going on, and
The Sims background music.
Yeah. And then she, for whatever reason, gets really restless, and she's like, you know what? I think that threshold, the door threshold, they need to make a ramp or something like that because it was really bumpy coming in. When you pushed me over, it felt really bumpy. And then her story she's like, I'm shook up about that. When you pushed me in, I was like, I was shaking in my seat. I was about to fall out. They really need to fix this. And she's getting really emotional, really upset. And her husband's like, okay, well, we'll just mention it to them. She's like, oh, clearly you don't care enough if you're not going up there to the desk and doing this now.
I like how she gets more curmudgeon-y as the story goes on.
You know the woman from SpongeBob where she's like, rub chocolate on me, live forever?
Yeah.
That's the woman, okay? This is her. This is the human version of that fish. She
needs some chocolate.
So she's like, oh, clearly you don't care if you're not going up to the desk. And he's like, okay, I'll go up to the desk. And so he goes up to the desk. And then she immediately shouts across the room. She just wanted him to get their attention, so she's shouting and stuff like that. And this keeps going on. Then her story gets worse, Oh, a spike in my leg from going over the threshold. I feel it. I'm this close to saying something. I look over I'm like just glaring at them, like glaring at her. And her poor husband, he's reading The Yearling, which is a Florida story. It's like from the 1890s or something. It's early Florida. It is super depressing. It is about this baby deer that befriends his family and that he's forced to make a difficult decision.
That's
The
great.
Yearling.
Happy.
What a great book. I was like, this guy probably wishes he was the yearling. Because if I was in this situation, I was losing it. And this was after 10 minutes of listening to her. It kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I had this thought in my head that I should say something, right? I should intervene because I'm seeing this poor guy who just wants to read The Yearling of all books. And his wife's story is getting worse and worse and worse. And she's shouting, she's making a scene, oh, they don't care about me, the spikes in my leg, blah, blah, blah.
What is a spike in her leg?
She was claiming this shooting spike of pain was resonating, throbbing because she bumped over a threshold with her wheelchair.
Okay.
This is
Wouldn't
her
it be in the
story.
back, though? Like
She was just making a scene. She wanted attention.
All right. Yeah.
And
We shouldn't look for logic in these situations.
I want to say something because you know me.
Yeah,
We've
I know
been
you.
out before. If I see someone being mistreated in public, I will say something.
Kite-tails very much falls in the training worked for see something, say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once saw a server, we were out at a sushi restaurant. I once saw a server getting degraded. And I was like, what are you doing? I got really upset at the guy. He's like, stay out of it. I'm not going to stay out of it. You're the one causing a scene in front of everyone. And then as they're walking past, I'm like, rude ass people. And then his wife looked like the doll from...
Annabelle?
No, it looked like the creepy ghost doll from The Conjuring. No, not The Conjuring. The movie with Patrick.
Insidious.
Yeah, it looked like Insidious. She looked like the doll woman from Insidious, you know, where she's like, and then she comes back, she like backtracks. She's like, what? Excuse me, what did you say? And I was like, I called you rude ass people. Like, I doubled down. And then it's so funny this.
She's like, we're not being rude.
And then the server
we're not
came
being
up.
Rude.
She's like, ma'am, you were being rude. So we all ganged up on her. But
and we got free sushi.
And we got they like sent us all of their food.
Everything they ordered, we got for free,
really,
which was like, awesome.
They appreciated it. But there was also no like everyone clap moment. You know, if I was in a restaurant and I saw that, I would be clapping. No one clapped for me. Everyone was just like, oh, I'm scared. But I will say stuff, right? So I was thinking, should I say something to this old couple? Should I intervene? Because I felt so bad for this guy.
The trouble with this specific instance is it's a doctor's office, right? Like, it's a healthcare facility.
Yeah, but...
And we don't know how much pain that woman was actually...
It was...
All right, but maybe not the actual wheelchair. Like, maybe she's in chronic pain, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, her meds are wearing off.
But then she's taking it out on her husband.
Which is not right.
She's blaming for not caring about her foot and all this stuff. And he's just sitting there like he has this 1,000-yard stare. He's holding his book.
I feel very badly for the husband.
I feel bad for him too, but then I felt guilty because I'm like, maybe I should have said something to stand up for him.
I can tell you this much. If you said something,
I think
he would never hear the end of it.
Yeah, that I know. He's like, oh, you need some girl to protect you in the podiatrist office. Like, I could imagine.
It would be so much worse for him.
Yeah, she probably would have been like, oh, why don't you have your girlfriend get the thing off the top shelf for you?
Yeah.
You know, it'd be comments like that for the rest of her life.
Yes. Then he would be the yearling.
I just felt bad. And then I felt guilty. I was like, oh, you know, if I was getting here, if I was like being on the receiving end of this, would I want someone to say something to me? But you're right. I probably did him a favor, you know?
Yeah.
I did.
It's hard.
He was the yearling.
Yeah. You didn't shoot him.
I just let him be.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the thing, because that was the conundrum. Like, I
think it really depends.
Help or
if it's a well, I mean, you can't even say if it's a couple, because like sometimes people do need help in relationships. You know.
I know. I don't know.
The problem with any kind of confrontation today is people. I don't know if they're more unhinged now than ever before.
They definitely are.
But it definitely feels like you run a lot more risk. Like in the olden days, well, you know, you think of the times of cowboys, if you got into conflict with someone, there might be a shootout.
Yeah, you would just
I mean, you know, even further back, it's like, I challenge you to a duel, and now we're going to stab each other, and whoever wins, you know.
And that's it.
So, I don't know. People are just really bad at dealing with conflict. They always have been. I think we always will. And the risk you run today is, well, they're going to whip out their cameras, and they're going to make a fool of you.
Well, there are some people who are really good at
de-escalation.
Yes. And we always come to this. I always use this example because it is still like the best. Years ago, Tom Cruise was on the red carpet, and there was a Dutch comedian, prankster, and he had this squirt gun microphone.
Yeah, like a little, yeah.
And he went up to Tom Cruise. Tom, can I have an opinion on the and squirted him in the face. And, you know, the water hits Tom Cruise, and he's startled. And the man immediately tries to run, and he grabs him. I think he may have grabbed him up here.
I think he grabbed him by the shoulder, yeah.
He's like, wait. Why would you do that? I gave you an interview. Why would you do that? And the comedian he was shocked. No one had ever spoken to him like this before. Now, why would you do that? He couldn't answer his question. He's like, you're a jerk. That is still the best example I've ever seen because you have something physical happening to you. Getting squirted in the face with water. Your first reaction might be anger. His was, I'm going to just address him.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that kind of cool collectiveness is something I would love to do. Because I'm very, very spicy. Okay? I'm very, very hot-tempered.
Firecracker.
Very much. 0 to 100 sort of TNT.
Yes.
Fuse. Pew. I would love to have that kind of cool collectedness to where I just right out the door say something really calm like that. But really in charge and confident, you know.
Make the other person feel bad.
Yes.
Make them think, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going...
It's hard to do.
Is it going to sleep or is it just... Does it need to be on? Is it always recorded?
I don't know.
We don't know. Yeah. That would be great, though. You know?
Yeah.
So could I have done something like that in this situation? I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Or maybe I could have just diffused like, hey, sorry to interrupt you. Is that book any good? You know, do something totally... Or maybe like, hey, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am, but I really like your bag. Where'd you get it from? I think something like that would have helped.
Yeah.
And now looking back, of course, when I'm not sitting there feeling...
Hindsight's always 20/20.
I know.
Yeah.
But I would just like to do that more because I think people need that more, right?
Agree.
So I could have gone in, hey, stop giving him a hard time. But had I done it with, do you guys, do you know any good breakfast place around here to eat? You know, something like that. I'm going to try and practice that. So in the future, I can be more like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, everyone wants to be like Tom Cruise.
I want to be more cool and collected like that. I also have bleeding scab on the list.
Oh, bleeding scab. Yeah. Let's tell them about the bleeding scab story.
Well, this is really weird because you had a bleeding...
Yeah, I had a little, it was right here. I think it's healed now. I had a little scab right there.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
You know, it's right where my beard line is, so it could have been, you know, a shaving nick or something. But I put a little piece of toilet paper on it to clot it, as one does when they have a little bleeding scab on their face. And I mean, this thing, it bled a lot. Like, I'm not a bleeder by any means, but it bled a lot. So I had the toilet paper there, and we're getting ready to go get some boba tea, which is my vice. I love boba tea. I just love it to death. And she looks over to me in the car and sees this. And she's like, well, we can't go in there with that on your face. And proceeds to just yank it off. Which now, it's bleeding more than it's ever bled before. Like, I was like, well, it was just a little blood earlier. And now it's like a fountain coming out of... So I'm like, well, we're at the boba tea. I'm not going home. I'm not giving up my boba. So I had to like dab my face every like 15 seconds with the tissue, which is just like bright blood red.
Like a waterfall of blood.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, little kite tails. That was great.
I don't know why. I didn't mean to rip it off, though.
It hurt, too. I was like, you couldn't have done that just...
Well, I shouldn't have been bleeding that much.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't have if you did it gently, but you yanked it like a piece of tape.
I don't want people to think there's something wrong with you. If I said something...
Oh, yeah. No, they wouldn't have thought there's something wrong. There's a little toilet paper on my shave wound. They definitely think there's something wrong when it's like, oh, this man just came at a restaurant and he's got a fountain of blood coming down his face like he was shot in the Revolutionary War.
I think he scratched you saying, no, not possible because I keep my nails super short.
I mean, it was a profuse amount of blood. Thank you for that experience.
You're welcome. I wanted to put on the list just in case that happens to anyone.
Don't pull off the blood clot paper until the person says, yeah, it's safe to do it.
Home.
Or do it slow. Just do it slow so you don't go deeper than the wound was in the first place.
Bleeding
Holy
scab.
cow. Thanks for reminding me about that little incident.
You're welcome. We went to Nintendo World a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was, we went to Epic Universe, but Nintendo World is in Epic Universe, which is Universal Studio Orlando's new theme park. California already has one, but Orlando's is brand new. And it was so good.
It was so good.
Like,
it was. We were warned by my friend that it was overstimulating.
Yeah.
And it absolutely lived up to that definition.
Yes.
Like, it is so much to take in when you walk in.
Right.
Everything moves.
Everything moves.
Everything moves.
And it's just so, and then you hear the music. It was really, really, it was just such a cool first time experience. I have footage. I should make a short since I'm making YouTube shorts now.
There were kids running around punching blocks everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding.
It was really, really, really cool. And so we're getting theme park passes.
Whenever they become available.
Yeah. And so we'll do theme park stuff because we're in Florida and that's what Floridians do.
You know, hot take. I'm sure this is a hot take, but I was not thoroughly impressed by the Mario Kart ride.
Oh yeah, the Mario Kart ride wasn't that well. Okay, so
it's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
it's neat, but I did not like it.
So we've been to like every single theme park. We know all the rides
in Orlando.
In Orlando,
yeah,
in Orlando, and. So when we have judgments about rides and stuff like that, this is coming from a place of privilege to where we've done other rides. So I don't want to be like, oh, it's not impressive. it's only because we've seen the potential of some other rides. The Mario ride is on one of those magnetic hover.
Yeah, I mean it's
tracks.
Yeah, I would say it's like an evolved haunted mansion in a way, right? It's
right.
You're in a cart that is moving on a predetermined track.
And then you have glasses
and there are some elements of the ride that are real physical objects,
right.
But you also have an AR glass across your face.
So you see other drivers, and depending on your actions, they're affected.
You can shoot them with your shells.
Yeah. But I feel like we've seen some really, really cool rides so the expectation, the standard is a little high.
Like, I still think the Men in Black ride at Universal Studios is the best one of these.
Those,
yeah. To this day, like, it's...
The one at Hollywood Studios is pretty good. The one they redid with the
Toy Story
movie ride.
Oh, the Mickey one.
Yeah.
Well, that
the
one's...
Mickey one.
I mean, that one is impressive just from what they do from a projection perspective, but I'm thinking like where there's an interactive layer.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think Men in Black is still the best interactive ride they've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. The effect was neat because you do see the little, Lemmys and the Koopas and all them moving around. But I don't know. Like, it's the same problem with the Millennium Falcon ride at Hollywood Studios. I'm not on a ride for interactivity.
Right.
I've got video games at home.
Yeah.
And this excuse might have held water like in the 90s, 2000s. I just give me a ride.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought Donkey Kong was amazing.
Yeah. The Donkey Kong.
Because Donkey Kong is a simulation of the minecart.
Yeah.
And it just gives you the minecart experience with no interactivity required.
Right.
I think it's the better ride of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. And I just loved the whole, because they had the Donkey Kong Country section in Nintendo Land, because there's no blending of the two. It's like it's a separate section. Part.
Yeah.
And you go in there and you hear Donkey Kong's soundtrack. Yeah, and I'm like, I sort of realized, I've never realized this about Donkey Kong's soundtrack before, is that it has such a cool blending of like jazz and percussion and so many different elements to it. It is one of my favorite soundtracks just because of how fun and bouncy and diverse it is. Because then you have like, Sticker Brush Symphony, and then you have the underwater level, and then you have the main theme. It's such a good soundtrack.
Yes, it really is.
And so hearing it in the park, it was just a super cool experience. So I can't wait to upload some footage of that.
Also, if you ever go to the Nintendo Land, keep your eyes peeled. Look around, because there are tiny little secrets.
There's tiny
hidden everywhere, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So that's Nintendo World. We've been watching The Rehearsal, season 2 on HBO Max with Nathan Fielder, and that show is just so good.
It's unhinged.
Nathan Fielder is a very everyone calls him Andy Kaufman, but like
they call him like a prank artist, right? Like,
yeah, but
he's not doing pranks. He's actually doing. He's always been the kind of person to almost do reality TV as comedy.
Yeah.
Like he's creating these simulations and scenarios where people have to react to a funny or bizarre situation. That's his whole style. But he himself is a character who is very deadpan, smart, but also cannot read the room.
Right.
And The Rehearsal takes this to the next level where he's creating full-blown recreations of environments with paid actors to have real people rehearse things that they're not comfortable with.
Yes. And these are just normal commoners, This is like life
common clay of the earth.
Yes. This isn't anyone that you know. There's no mainstream
Dave Bautista's not going to show up and be like, "Hey, it's me, Dave Bautista."
Right. The actors that he hires are just like actor studio people, local
extras
and stuff like that. But it's so hard to describe what the show is without watching it, just because it's so unbelievable. These huge sets that he builds are very much like a part of it. So if you like set design and stuff like that, if you like practical things, no green screen, no effect, it's not a show that, and he's so talented because he does something he knows is very funny, where we're looking over each other, we're dying, but he's not.
The people in the scene don't know it's funny.
They don't know it's funny, and the way he's presenting it, he's not trying to be funny. while doing something he knows will make everyone laugh, which is really talented.
It's a skill.
To be able to do something, not at all even break, no smiling. And, you know, when we're laughing, he's like got this deadpan look on his face. Like, he's so incredibly talented in that way that I don't think a lot of other people, you know, when they laugh, they like to hear that, right? When someone's on stage, a comedian. Right. But you know, when he's doing this, the people, they're not laughing.
No. No one laughs except the audience in the show.
Yes. The only people laughing are the viewers. There's no one laughing on screen. And so it's a really, really unique comedy show.
It's so interesting because we're watching The Rehearsal, but we're also watching Conan O'Brien Must Go.
Yeah. Which
is a travel show with Conan O'Brien, who is like real life Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
who his whole reason for being is to make everyone laugh. Mm-hmm. So he's always trying to either break Jordan or whoever he's with. He's trying to make them laugh. And you laugh with him.
Yeah.
And Conan O'Brien is like one of the funniest people alive.
He's
But it's so funny to have like these two opposites on the comedy spectrum. Right. One who can make serious things funny, and one who is just constantly funny.
Yeah.
Both produce just the most gut-busting laughs I think we've had in a long time.
So those two shows, if you want some humor, definitely recommend them. Although The Rehearsal, too, there are some...
It's very serious for being so funny.
So the whole entire point is he's taking a look at the airline industry, and so you have a very real, serious discussion, and presented in this
specifically like how pilots behave in the cockpit. Like that's the whole point of season 2, which is like the least funny thing you can think of.
Right. But it's just so well done. So can't recommend that enough. If you have HBO, definitely go watch that. And they're changing the name, right? Back from Max to HBO.
They're going from Max back to HBO.
Max was so stupid.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
Thanks, David.
Who?
Huh?
Who is that?
Maybe we shouldn't name drop people just in case he reaches out one day. He's like, what if we get a comedy show?
Yeah, what would it be about?
Who knows?
Scarlet Widow?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly. Okay, so that was The Rehearsal too. We're almost here. I'm going to wrap this up.
Where are we?
This down. We're only at 53 minutes.
Holy smokes. How can you see that?
Down there, it's been recording for 53 minutes.
Holy smokes.
I had put something on our list. I put it up at the top. I said the glute destroyer because I have my podcast notes here. I put at the very top one because we did this exercise last week. We have Apple Plus Fitness. Again, life on easy mode. Like, I don't have to do this, but I do. We were playing Apple Fitness. Apple Plus Fitness. And they have like
Apple
all
Fitness
kinds
Plus.
of, yes, all kinds of different.
We're not endorsed.
You can do strength training. We should be endorsed. Strength training, yoga, rowing,
dance.
cardio, dance, like you name it, they have it there. Pilates. And so we did strength training because strength training is really good for you. Free weights are really good for you. Like if you're not exercising, try and do free weights because it helps with your skeleton, your bones. And so we did this
Your skeleton and your bones are different things, by the way.
Yeah. My skeleton is my home.
But your bones are your body.
Yes. And so it helps. So we did this workout routine. It was like, okay, strength training. Grab a set of dumbbells, and we're going to do this. And then it's a lot of, like, squatting and lunging. Lots of squatting and lunging. And then, like, about 15 minutes into it, he's like, all right, guys, you're not going to feel this the next day. Don't worry. And then he's like, just kidding. You'll definitely feel it the next day. Probably the day after that, too.
And then I said, you're not going to be able to stand up off the toilet. You're done. You're done.
But like,
I've done this exercise before. You cannot get up off the toilet.
It was 20 minutes of this, right? At the end of it, we're both super sweaty. We're making jokes. We're like, okay, we're not going to be able to stand tomorrow. And so then the next day, it hurts, right?
Everything hurt.
Everything hurts. It really hurt to walk the next day. And
it
then
hurt
the
to go
day
up the
after
stairs.
that, it really hurt.
It still hurt.
We were like the newborn yearling.
Although I did take a salt bath
super shaky
on day 2.
And it helped.
I was completely better.
But for me, it hurt so much. I tried to take a percussive massager. I was like massaging everything, and it wasn't helping. Like nothing would alleviate this pain. It was the most painful, like lower body workout I've ever done ever, and it lasted like 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, it's gone now, but that was like what? 4 days ago.
Anytime there's lunges or squats, I feel like, because I used to lift weights at work, and anytime I would do any heavy lunging or squatting, it didn't matter how much I did it, there was always soreness. Like always
soreness. But this
you don't get that with upper body.
A lot though.
Like you get it with whatever reason your glutes
we did
and your hammies.
Upper body yesterday.
Yeah, and I'm fine.
I was fine.
I'm like a little sore, but like it's completely tolerable.
But like that was intense.
It was the worst.
And so if you want a really good, like if you want to not be able to walk for 5 days.
If you want that experience, because we know some people do.
If you want to try it and you have Apple Fitness Plus, then you need to, his name is Kyle.
Coach Kyle. He's fantastic.
It is under strength training. It is lower body. It is 20 minutes. And I don't know the name of the thing, but Barry White.
Yes.
Is one of the songs on the playlist.
Yes.
So if you find that one, that's the one. Do it.
Can't get enough of your love, baby.
You're not going to be able to walk for 4 days afterward, you know? So yeah, that's why I put it at the top of the list, because at the time I didn't think it was going to end. We couldn't get up. We couldn't stand.
There was a time where like I don't know if I can do any more of this.
No. It was that painful. And it was and then I was like, well, shouldn't there be a warning on this? Because he just nonchalantly, he's like, hey guys, you're not going to feel the next day. Just kidding, you definitely will. But by then it was too late.
Yeah, you're done. You're already toasted.
We were already at the end of the routine. I was like, did this need a warning? Like, what if we had done this, and then for whatever reason we had like lifeguard tryouts the next day, and we weren't expecting the pain? The Apple would have screwed us over. You know? They would have screwed us over. Should really intense workouts that you're not going to be able to walk for an entire week after, should they have a warning label on
I mean, I think that's the whole point of just, good decision making. Like if you have, tomorrow I'm helping my friend move. Today I'm not going to do heavy lifting because I need these muscles rested for tomorrow.
We were just like putting the weights down. It wasn't even like we were doing this stuff.
I understand that, but I'm saying like, preemptively you think I shouldn't work out today because I'm going to be helping my friend move tomorrow.
I could move stuff today. Then we did that upper body thing,
right, but like
I don't know. I'm just saying,
I don't think we would have done it had we had something planned.
But maybe some fitness things need to say will not be able to walk tomorrow. I'm just saying like maybe just have a difficulty rating system. 1-star difficulty.
Soreness.
And
a soreness outcome.
This is why difficulty is important. Now, what if I was like, I did that workout, and someone was like, oh, I can't do it. I need modified. I was like, that's bullshit. You can do it, or you're not a real fitness person. How would you feel if I was like that? How would you feel if I came over to your house and I was like, oh, you're watching
I'm just thinking, thank God Apple Fitness Plus doesn't have a comment section.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Comments ruin everything.
Workout was difficult. Get good, scrub.
Yeah.
You're clearly not fit enough to lift weights.
See, and that is a problem with the comment section. When you see, like, what's the worst part of social media?
The comments.
It's not even the content. It's the comments, right? The comments are the worst part. Now, I will say, I'm really, really, really lucky that I feel 99% of the people who watch this channel and who leave comments are really good people. I feel extremely lucky that the people who watch my channel...
You're a magnet for nice people.
Yeah, just not even like nice, but like there's a level of thoughtfulness and consideration to what they're saying. It's not just... Because then you'll have some people like, first. But you'll have some... I'll get comments that are just really wise and thoughtful. And so I feel really lucky that the people who watch my channel, I get like very high quality feedback. Mm-hmm. But that's very curated. Like I get rid of a lot of trash people. Someone will say something. Someone said something to me. Oh, because I made a joke. I was like, oh, they're going to have to shell out that horror money movie. All that horror money movie that they rake in. A24.
Horror movie money.
Horror movie money. What did I say?
Horror money movie.
Oops.
I'm like, was that Moneyball, but it's scary?
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. What a stupid commercial.
But you remember it.
But those were the times, Those were the days. I feel like millennials those were the days, my friends. That one song.
Yeah, I hate that song.
He hates this song.
I hate that
called, I'm pretty sure Those Were the Days was the name of the song.
It's like... It basically, we'll never have days that good again.
But it's true.
I mean, it's not true.
We'll never have the days of Hey Arnold again. I'll never have the days of coming back from school and watching Batman the animated series at 6 o'clock. Like, that's why that song.
I mean,
I don't even think it, like, I associate that song with the nice future. Anyways, what was I talking about? Because I don't want to get too far off topic before I forget. The horror money movie. Horror movie money. Someone left me a comment. I did a post about Elden Ring, the movie, and then because I did a short. I did a short where I was putting all my picks together for the cast.
Where is this going?
I'm working on it. I did a short where I talked about all my horror movie. My
horror money movie.
Now I'm getting too scribbled.
I have no idea what's going on.
Because I'm getting too off, of course. And I told you, I already did my video about ADHD. And, I was like, I want to show you guys what it's really like. But I was by myself when I did that. So there was still some, collectiveness to it.
Uh-huh.
But then when I'm with someone else and when I'm talking to you and I have multiple things I want to talk about on the same line, it's hard.
Just a quick aside, there are times when we'll be talking in the car, we'll be driving somewhere, and Kaitil's will be talking about like, oh yeah, no, I really like that movie. Do you remember the level where, and I'm like, level? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, in Mario Kart. I'm like, Mario Kart? How did we get here? But she's like, I was thinking about it, and then it came out. ADHD problems.
And it's hard because...
It is hard. I understand. I'm very empathetic to you.
I'll have like 5 different parallels...
in your brain.
Of ongoing at the same time.
And as a listener, sometimes I just have to be like, hey...
Yeah, I know.
I don't know when we switch topics, but I need you to tell me what you're talking about.
So then he'll be like, what are you talking about? And then I'll have to tell him.
Yeah.
So then I'm prefacing this with, I did my cast pick for Elden Ring, which was really good, by the way.
It was
Everyone
really
who
good.
watched that short, they're like, these are really good. Like,
David Thewlis as Gideon Ofnir is just...
friggin' so good.
If Alex Garland doesn't do that,
yes. I want to contact him and be like, listen. But someone said, they looked at the cast and they're like, oh, there's going to be 0 budget left over for the movie with this cast, right?
Yes.
Because it's like,
it's too many. But
it's too many.
I feel like David Thewlis as Gideon Ofnir, totally
that
reasonable.
That has to happen, and I don't think David Thewlis would charge an arm and a leg.
No. I mean, if you think about it, he's kind of already done it because he did Ares and Wonder Woman.
Exactly. That's what
which is the helmet.
That's what made me think about it.
Oh, I just thought about it because of the voice.
Yeah.
Like his voice is perfect.
Plus the helmet. I was like, oh yeah.
How he acted in Fargo season 4.
Season 4. David Thewlis doesn't even show up on the cast for Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I looked him up because I could not remember his name, and then I remembered it because when we remember actors' names. Does anyone else do this where I like to remember things on my own? I don't like to look it up because it's like
it's good for you.
It's a good thing.
It's a little brain exercise.
So when I was remembering that cast list, I didn't look up anybody. I was like, who's that person? That David Thewlis. But I couldn't remember his name. I did though eventually. But when I looked up because I was like, I knew he was in Wonder Woman. He wasn't on that list.
That's so weird.
They keep him a secret in that movie. Though.
Huh? Interesting.
Remember?
Yeah.
He doesn't show up until
right.
I mean, spoilers. David
For
Thewlis is in Wonder Woman, but. He wasn't in there, which I thought was super interesting. But someone had left me a comment on that short about the budget. And then I responded, I was like, oh, A24 is going to have to fork out that horror movie money, Someone was like, wow, you actually think all they do is horror movies. One ignorant take. Why don't you go educate yourself? So I was like, I commented, I was like, I really hope you find love and you prosper and have a great life. And then I deleted them because I was like, they will see my reply. Or I blocked them.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to see my reply, but I never want you commenting on my channel again. Because if that is your reaction to a joke, then I don't need that, I'm at a point in my life where we talked about we're in our mid-30s. Why do I have to deal with toxic people anymore in my life?
It's like... It's such an ignorant response, too, because A24 and Blumhouse truly revitalized horror.
Yes, that was what they were known for. That's all they were doing.
Up until they kind of snuck out of the indie market, horror had really rescinded.
Yes.
You weren't getting a lot of elevated horror. It was just crap and schlock. And just saw sequels forever. They come out, and suddenly you start getting, really highbrow, interesting horror.
Hereditary.
So, yes, A24 does a lot of other things.
Yeah.
But credit where credit's due, they really helped revive the genre.
And that's what they were known for.
And they make a lot of money doing it.
There was a point in time where you'd see A24 and someone would be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be creepy. That is what, so they've gotten away from, they branched out, like you said, they don't do it. But at the beginning... all of those really big classic hits.
Indie horror films,
were A24. Beau is Afraid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You had some really
Ari Aster. Yeah, he just
creepy stuff.
Midsummer too, right? Yeah.
And so that's what they were known for. And so I remember when we saw Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman is
Was that A24?
Yeah.
Which, like, we went and saw that hoping it was a horror movie.
Yes, that was the thing. Because
Yeah.
we were still under the impression A24 makes good horror movies, right? Or they produce them.
And we know they do other things.
Yes.
But, like, you know, the trailer even made it look like it was going to be a horror
Right.
movie. Because, you know, people know. We're going to go see it.
I thought it was going to be like Gone Girl.
Yeah.
And Gone Girl is a horror movie.
Absolutely. Gone Girl is one of the scariest movies.
Gone Girl is a
period.
horror movie. But we saw Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman. Not a horror movie.
Not even a good movie.
Uncomfortable? Yes. Very uncomfortable.
Really didn't stick the landing.
There was a woman next to us, this old woman.
Oh, she was losing it.
And she was like me, crying in the theater during If.
She was having her If during Baby Girl.
She was like falling apart. She looks at you.
She looks at me, she's like, what is this movie?
She could not stop laughing.
she was
cackling, laughing in the theater, and she gets up laughing.
She just walks out.
Walk out the theater laughing. We were in the theater once. Do you remember the movie we were seeing where there was this woman, she got up. And every single person, she's like, excuse me.
Oh,
Pardon me, excuse me.
What was that?
We got up in this movie, and this woman, this old lady.
She was so
sweet. She was like,
pardon me, excuse me. Pardon me, excuse me.
Like, when I get up in the theater and I go to the bathroom or something, I don't say anything because I'm like, everyone knows.
Yeah,
like,
it just happens.
It's good.
Well,
pass.
also, you're, you know, like,
I'll whisper.
paper thin.
I'll just get
Yeah.
through. I'll slip through. But this woman, I feel so bad. She's, excuse me, pardon me.
It's very sweet. It's very endearing.
Very
I
sweet.
love that.
We felt, yeah.
We have pretty
like,
good experiences, people at the theater.
Yeah, we do. I've never had a bad experience at theater.
Oh, I have. It's whenever you're not there.
Wow.
It's bad. I remember my brother and me went to see the Chucky reboot.
Yeah.
With Mark Hamill. And, like, it
Holy Mark
literally sitting next to us was a, like, gotta be 4-year-old child.
Oh.
And the mom,
yeah,
and like,
that's...
just like, oh no, Chucky, what's good? Like, my gosh, dude. Like,
that's terrific.
Why would you bring a child to
terrible.
it? In fact, like, another thing about it, whenever you go to a horror movie with me, it's always appropriate. But whenever I go with my brother to a horror movie, like Terrifier, Chucky, Saw 11 or whatever it was, like, there's always children.
I'll
and I'm
tell
just
you,
like,
again,
these are the gory movies. These are like the movies you don't want kids seeing.
you're benefiting off of my easy mode lifestyle. Sometimes I can bring friends.
Apparently it just rubs off. Like, we get the nice audiences.
I could just bring a friend.
But I think it's because you see elevated horror, and I'll go see the schlocky trash. And for whatever reason, schlocky trash invites people who bring their children, which is like, I'd almost rather the kids go see the elevated horror than to see, you know, literal body parts flying on the screen with buckets of blood.
Kids love that sort of stuff. You know?
I did.
Like,
I loved it as a kid.
Yeah,
so
see, they love it too.
I do get it, but I didn't act that way.
No.
So,
well,
yeah.
We'll see in 10 years how they turn out. Eek. What the?
Maybe they're like me. Maybe they're completely normal.
But yeah, that's our movie theater experience, and that's the list. That's it.
Excuse me. Oh, excuse me.
It was very sweet. And then she did it coming back. Was that during If? I wish I remember which movie it was for.
I don't know.
I don't think it was for If.
It was some big blockbuster movie because the theater was full.
Yeah,
which is why
was.
she was doing that, because every seat was full.
Yeah. No, we have AMC Movie Pass, so we go see movies. I told him today, and this is something that, you know, people will tell us, like, you know, they really like our chemistry and us working together and stuff like that. And I'm sure you can see, too, like, the difference in me having him here to talk to versus if I was just to do this by myself, it'd be very calm. Like, I get very, very centered when I'm by myself because I don't have there's no struggle of, oh, I want to tell you this. Oh, I want to tell you, you know.
Yeah.
And so I seem a lot more calm. But when we're together, I can, like, be myself more.
Aww.
Doesn't that make you happy?
It does make me happy.
I can be myself more because I feel like you accept me other than, you know, I don't have to, like, behave.
Yeah.
I don't have to be, behave. I hate it.
Oh, behave,
Yeah, I don't have to
baby.
do that. I don't have to.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
I hate Austin Powers so much. I hate him. Even though he's, like, a good guy. Someone said, like, Austin Powers, like, knew about consent and boundaries.
Well, it's very funny because, like, He's very randy. That's the whole joke, right? Like, he's a very sexual human being.
He's he's like a caricature on that.
James Bond.
Yeah.
Who always sleeps with the girl.
Right.
But Austin Powers is
very...
Yeah, like, you know, he understands what consent
Yeah.
is. And, like, that's the joke.
Right.
It's very funny.
Yeah. But I just hate that character. I'd punch his ass into this guy.
Who does number 2 work for?
And then what's his... Oh, yeah, he also played the bald guy. I forgot.
Mini-me.
He played all of those guys.
A freaking laser beam.
And the Scottish guy, he played them all.
What?
What's his name?
Mike Myers.
I'm going to bleep that part. I just accidentally said a
You
church
doxed
mouse.
someone who went to our church.
I just doxed an old man at church. Because I said the wrong name.
We don't go to that church anymore, by the way.
No, we don't, but I still doxed him.
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers.
Just think.
Yeah.
But not that Mike Myers.
No, but yeah, anyway, that's it.
That's it.
So, thanks for listening to everyone. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for listening to everyone. Please do listen to everyone.
And then we'll see you next time, next week. Bye.
Bye.